What's cracking? So, uh, I wanted to, I want to do like a regular style video and everything like that, but I don't have the storage space for it. So, same reason as last time. So we're just gonna go with live once again. It'll work. Vijeo, mayo, tomato, tomato, whatever, tomato, tomato. Anyways, so forgot my glasses in the house and everything. Who cares? It's not about me. It's about what's sitting down here that you can't see. So there you go. So what I have done to this engine is I took pistons and rods to the machine shop. Here's cylinder number 7. Rod matches. So, in case I didn't break this down before, what I'm using is a Speed Pro H631 CP. It's a hyper-eutectant 2-valve relief flat top. It's 30 over. This is a Teflon coated skirt. It's a little bit taller at the top, I believe, and it helps with the compression a little bit. These grooves, I believe it allows up to 508 lift cam at least. It's in that area. I'd have to do more research on these pistons. I'm not running that big of a cam. Let me tell you why. So if you run a big cam, you expect to turn some RPMs. I didn't set this engine up to run RPMs. This engine was simply set up to be naturally aspirated and produce decent power. So what I mean by decent power, all I mean by that, hang on here, fixing some stuff again. But what I mean by that is I want to be in the ballpark of 400. That's really not that hard to reach nowadays. If you have money, it's not hard to reach 2,000. So, but I don't like how that feels. But anyways, so it's a 1978 350 block. It came out of a C10 truck, I believe. This is what I was told. I have a new RPC stamped steel oil pan. This is a brand new and dirty. Is that dirty? Or is that faded? It's just dirty. It's a brand new water pump. I wanted to get a aluminum one so it actually dissipates more heat on its own, let alone the cooling system. I couldn't find them for a reasonable price, so I paid like 38, under $40 for this one, I believe. I could be completely wrong. It's been a while. It's been like 2 or 3 months since I bought this. And so what I've done is they say, here's the Hastings rings that I got for this build, and these are chromoly rings. So they say these are pretty gapped. I don't care what anyone says. I went through on every single ring, and I found sometimes I had to actually swap around. Most of the time that didn't really make a difference. But of course, I wrote down all the ring gaps. So if any of y'all are more experienced engine builders or anything like that, maybe you can get more of a, you can probably help me out here with a little bit as what I'd expect of this motor. So cylinder 1, the top ring is at 20 thousandths, the second ring is at 24. Cylinder 3 is 20 thousandths and 24. 5 is 20, 23. 7 is 20, 24. 2 is 20, 24. 4 is 19, 24. 6 is 19, 23. and 8 is 2023. And so what I've got here wrote down is I called Federal Mogul about what they recommend for end gaps on chromoly rings with these pistons. And they said for the first ring 18 to 20 thousandths, the second ring 20 to 24. So I just took a ballpark and I was wanting to be within those three numbers. And I went on the larger side on every single one of them. And the reason why I did that. Whew, nice cool breeze blowing through there. But the reason why I did that is because I don't know if it's baloney, it's credible or not, but people tell me that this reflects heat into the rings more than an ordinary cast. Obviously, this is a cast piston, but it's not an ordinary cast piston. It's hyper-eutectic. Basically, what I think that means is it's got silicon in it. I could be completely wrong. Don't take my word on any engine specs. Make sure, if you're going through what I'm going through, do all your research, consult someone that actually knows what they're talking about. Of course, that was easy for me. That was walk 10 feet into my dad's bedroom and ask him questions I had. So, most of the things I know, not all of it, but most of the things I know is stuff that he's taught me and everything like that. So what I've got here is the top ring in each cylinder. Can I turn that camera around? Yes, I can. And I'm going to imagine that this camera is going to be very dirty. There we go, not too bad. So what I've done here is the first ring on top is the second ring on the piston, and the bottom ring, the second ring, is actually the first ring. So what that means is when you take a piston, now I just got sweat on my hand, I'm not going to grab it. But when you take one of these and you hold it in your hand, you're ready to install rings, the first one you pull out of that cylinder will be the second ring. And the second one you pull out will be the top ring. Something he told me about, and I agree with 100%. Blood on the floor. In case y'all don't know, I am running a comp cams. Oh. This thing just keeps getting heavier and heavier, and I ain't complaining. So everything looks a little bit dirty. Here's the 305, but just looking outside there. So what I did here is we have, how you like that? That's when my buddies come over here and start spray painting stuff. But anyways, so this is a brand new Eagle crank. This is just ordinary cast crank. I didn't need anything special. Let me tell you why. As long as you have good bearing clearances, you have good bolts here for your main caps. I mean, as long as you got good quality components that have been properly clearanced, and your parts are spec'd for your horsepower you're looking to make. So, as long as that works. Okay, so I'm tired, guys. So here's what I'm trying to say. You order the parts you order for a specific reason, and this is where a lot of people, like engine builders, they come in really good hand. They come very handy. Because what they do is they spend years and years and years building engines. They fail sometimes, and most of the time they don't. So, in that horsepower range, this crankshaft will be just fine. Also, a single roller, not ideal. Once I find it. Oh. So I ordered a double roller set. But I don't know what it goes to, because obviously the listing was wrong. It was only $20. anyways, so let's see, what brand was that again? Oh, let's see, where's the box at? Anyways, I'm running Molly Cleavot everything I can. Molly Cleavot lifters. I've got a very, very close to new distributor. This is what came out of this 305 when I pulled it out of my Camaro. It's in good condition. I've cleaned these pulleys. Harmonic balancer has been cleaned. I did check it. It's still in good shape. If I was turning 6,000 or more RPM, I wouldn't even consider this. I wouldn't even look at it. I would literally put it down there with my other stuff and forget about it, because it's not for that. So the factory GM timing set has a plastic, okay, well, there's metal teeth inside of it, but they've got plastic in it. I don't really understand, but they have a reason for it. Let's see. Yesterday I was trying to upload a video and I just ran out of storage. But one thing I really want to talk about and touch on here, for the few that are watching these videos, is the importance of this little piece of sheet metal right here. So what this is this is less than a $3 kit, okay? And like I did for the last video that I never did get to upload. This is it right here. Melling engine parts. Cam bolt lock plate kit. So comes with the bolts, brand new grade 8 bolts, or those grade 6. I can't remember how to tell the grades, but and it comes with this locking plate. So when you tighten them down, obviously you can't tighten them too much. I'm sure there's a torque spreading on it somewhere, and I will do my best to get everything torqued the best I can. But anyways, you tighten these down, you bend these little tabs over to the head on all three of them, and it keeps them from backing out. Oil pump, brand new, Molly Cleavot or whatever. I don't like to use weird brands like just like off the shelf, like just junk. Molly Cleavot is the bearings and everything they have been using for years and years and years. These are rod bearings. Oil filter, OEM, that's the best. Here's the Melling engine parts pickup here. Brand new pickup. Leaving this in the bag until I'm ready to install it for a reason. So I don't get any foreign material in it. And I need, here's the reconditioned oil pump drive there. Rides on the distributor. And distributor locks into the camshaft. But fuel pump block off plate. I do actually have a fuel pump eccentric and the other cover if I wanted to run it in my other car, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. I'm going to show you all the cars I got, minus the 88 IROC that I plan on this to go in, because I'm actually going to do some work on it today and get it ready to be hauled. There goes my door. It's going to shut. Make it a lot hotter in here. But I want to go show you that car right quick before I forget about it. As for engine brackets, these are just the ones off my 305 that came out of my 84Z. Now, go show you. Oh, that's great. I just kicked my brand new oil pan. Just painted it the other day. So I got a lot of junk out here, if you can't tell. And a chicken or two. and a spider web or two. So she's not purty by no means. Obviously, all plastic that's covering up that window fell off in the storm. It's really not that bad of a car. I've had like a bunch of people offer me all kinds of stuff for it, and it's a complete car other than the torque arm that goes from the transmission to the differential and the drive shaft and a motor. So and let's see, I have the passenger seat, but it's in the 84. The driver's seat is still in it, but that needs to go with the 84. The wheels that are on the 84Z, I'm keeping those, and those are going to be going on here. So I mean, it's a clean car. It's original paint, some touch-up paint on the bumper. There's a dent right there, and there's a crap ton of spider webs hanging on. There's rust in the door around there. It's very little, and then you ain't gonna be able to see it, but there's hail damage on the right here in front and behind the T-tops on the roof. So this car has everything. I don't know if you can see that. I can't see nothing. I can't even see my phone. There's a T-top bag. There's the other door panel. Hopefully you can see better than I can. There's the door panel. Dash is good. It's got original everything. It's got the clock in the center console. This plastic here I've had like 5 or 6 different sheets of plastic to cover up this because someone busted the window out before I got it. As for mirrors, you should notice that one's missing. So what I did is these weren't too great. See, this one's missing the glass side of it, and these older ones, they all have the adjustable stuff. Kept up with all that stuff. I can put that back together. The passenger mirror has a huge dent right there and a bunch of flaking paint where it's been just sprayed and sprayed and sprayed. Surface rust right down here. It's common. Door sills are gone, but what is one of the first things you expect to go on these Camaros that has not gone on this Camaro? Door pins. They're in perfect condition. And one of the great things I like about this car is this little thing right here. This is called a manual window. I might be 19, but I prefer this over electric. And the reason why, these don't stop working, and if they do, it's because this plastic handle, which is only $7 or $8 at auto parts stores. So, and as you can see, I've got the door panel off there, and it's back here. And this car needs to be cleaned big time. If I keep this car, it's going to get a new headliner. Plastics are going to be all redone. Tint is going to be redone. I'm going to place that glass over there, fix that door panel back on. Back in the carpets. I think it has one rust spot. One. Oh, it needs new door sills. I have these sills, but and I have the inside sill, but I do not have outside exteriors. I use that on my first 3rd generation Camaro I had, which was a 92 25th anniversary Z. You see some more damage right there. So a couple months ago, I sprayed this bay black. And the reason why I did that is I didn't think it was going to take that long to put a motor in it. Can't tell. It needs to be resprayed because it's faded to death. And also, I don't have a hood for this car. So, I mean, I've looked at different options. One of the options is just to keep it and cover it up. You know, get a big tarp and just cover up the whole thing, wrap it up. And just keep it, and if I ever come up with a motor and stuff like that built, ready to go, I have something to stick it in. I can just drop it in, plug in all the wiring, and it'll be a turnkey drive operation. It has the 83Z came with a TH350C transmission which has the torque converter lockout or whatever in it. I do have the transmission for it, and it is actually, as far as I can tell and as far as I know, it's usable without a rebuild, unless I was going for, 600 or 700 horsepower or whatever, and then I wouldn't even think about it. I just go get it rebuilt, call it done. So maybe you can see right there some dents. Probably can see those on the fender. Just little things here and there, and then you can see where I thought I was going to paint the whole car because of this stuff right here, because it wouldn't come off. And then I just like sprayed in here, just so it makes it look uniform on the inside when you pop the hood. If there was a hood, which I wish there was a hood, because maybe I wouldn't have trees growing up out of it and stuff. What I really need to do is I've got my other car up on jack stands, my 84Z, and I just need to go take the wheels off of it and stick it on this car and push this thing. No, they say it's not good to have cars sit underneath trees, but maybe right in this area where there's already dead grass. And right now, if you can't tell, there's shade, so that'd probably be a good idea. So we're dragging on here. 0 views, and we're 21 minutes in. Screw it. Nobody watches my videos, and I think what the problem is I'm just a little bit everywhere, and I don't use clickbait. If y'all can't tell, I need to mow bad. I probably should mow. I probably should mow, and then I should probably get that car rolling, and then move it over here or something, like where it's not directly underneath the tree, and bring the mower back out or leave it out and mow underneath where it's been sitting for a while, just to get everything a little bit under control. Grass is getting very high right now. So the ground effects on the early 3rd gen Zs were mostly gold. And the reason why that is because most of them were white. Actually, the most common color for any 3rd gen Camaro, no matter what year, is white. I don't know why. Here's my issue, is I really like white on cars, but when every Camaro you see is white, it makes me want to paint it something crazy, like orange. I was really thinking about orange, because orange with a blue engine and a tan interior just really says everything I want it to say. It's still going.